the event, like two events, the same event. One in Takoradi, one in Accra. The one in Takoradi is this year. It's for 21st of December. What has happened is because of the lockdown that happened, COVID-19 that happened some years ago.
Yes.
They moved the market women to our usual ground, which is the Takoradi Jubilee Park. So we couldn't get any proper venue to organize the event. First of all, because of security, because we have large number of people coming from all the western regional villages and the cities. Then people even come from Cape Coast. Some of us come from Accra. People coming from Takoradi. People coming from Spain and the other countries, just because of the made in Tardy, because we say Christmas is Takoradi. Because we are not able to get enough space because of security reasons, we couldn't do the event. But this year, God being so good, we've been able to secure the Takoradi Sports Club, and that's why Kofi Kinata will be having his made in Tardy 2024. And on the 27th of December, he'll be having a mini version of the event at the Plus 233 lounge. That is right opposite GBC. So if you can't make it to Takoradi, just look for your money. It's somewhere around 500 to
wow.
depending on a package you choose. And you enjoy good live band music. Samini will be on the bill. There are some other artists. I'm very sure Peter himself, that is for me, the artists we are all speaking about now will also be there, and some other artists. It's going to be a great time. So if you can't make it to Takoradi, make sure you get your money so that you can make it to the one at the Plus 233. Another event is also 21st. That's right here in Accra. That is the Untamed Empire Blacko Sherif, aka the Zama Disco Man, aka Kweku, will be having his event at the Untamed Empire, which is on the what's the name? The Sprintex Accra Mall Road, just after the big church there. We'll be having that event. That's a Zama Disco concert. And also the same 21st, Obi Amponsa, the comedian, will be having his 10th anniversary in comedy. He'll be having his event at the Bukum Boxing Arena, whereby he and a couple of the comedians will be giving us a good show. I learned there might even be a fake boxing bout, just like how Mayweather and the other guy had an arranged boxing match. But this will be between Obi and Ponsa and one of the comedians, just to make us laugh. Moving away from that.
That'll be interesting.
Yes. And on the 22nd of December, the BIM president, Mr. Livingstone Satekle, a.k.a. Stoneboy, a.k.a. Louisa's husband, a.k.a. Jidula and CJ Papa, will be having this event that is the BIM Fest at the La Palm Beach Hotel.
Okay.
I mean the La Palm Hotel.
So, yes. I can see that there are a number of events. In fact, the season is so packed that one can't afford to miss it. You hold it right there for me. Let me go quickly to the line and then speak to DO1 Aka of the Ghana National Fire Service. It's a firefighter. So that we also take some tips from him how to stay safe. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please, how are you doing?
Good, you're fine.
Okay, thanks for having you on the morning show. Please, just a quick one. We just wanted to know that what are some of the most common fire hazards that you think this Christmas we should prevent?
All right, thank you so much, and a very good morning to you, cherished listeners and viewers. Point of correction here. My rank is DO2, and I'm the head of public relations.
Okay.
Yes, and you know that very soon we will get into the festive season, and then the predominant fire hazards include or stem from the unattended cooking that we'll be doing. So a lot of cooking will be happening where we'll be doing a lot of heating as well, and therefore people tend to be a bit careless. They don't focus on the cooking. Whilst cooking, they may be playing some music, which would kind of take the attention from the cooking, and before you realize, there is fire stemming from a gas leakage or a faulty electrical stove or what have you pertaining to the cooking activity. At times, we bring in some of these Christmas decorations whereby we tend to use.
Yeah, hello, DO2, please, you can proceed.
Okay. Whereby we tend to bring in some Christmas decoration, Christmas trees with these flickers to decorate our homes and to ensure that we have the best of the season. Sometimes these wires that are associated with these lighting system get failed, and we tend to turn a blind eye to it, and that could lead to some of these fires. At times too, we tend to celebrate our birthdays, our anniversaries, and also party around the home or event centers and all that, and we tend to use these candles. Some of these candles are wrongfully placed. They are placed closer to combustible materials, and for whatever reason, they tend to burn these combustible material and then create these fire conditions. At times too, when the weather is dry like this, we tend to burn small rubbish around our premises. And in trying to burn them, because of the windy nature of the weather, it tends to carry some of the glowing embers to nearby bushes. And it starts off bushfires within our domestic setting. And these lead to some of these fires that we record during the period. What we have also gathered over the period is that we tend to use these gas stoves and gas cylinders. People tend to fill them to the brim. There are leakages associated with the valve, the regulators, and even the knobs on the stoves. And we tend not to pay heed to them. We don't send them to the technicians to fix them for us, or we don't buy new ones to replace the old ones or the worn-out ones. So we would want to advise the general public that in as much as we want to enjoy our festive season and then have the best of it, we need to be mindful of some of these things that we do that create these fire conditions in order to put measures in place. We have been advocating that this year, for this particular festive season, instead of the usual chicken, fowl, goats, cows, and whatever gift we give to our loved ones, why not we also go for these fire extinguishers, the potable ones that we can give to our beloved, we can give to our family members, maybe to use in their vehicles, to use in their shops, to use in their offices, to use in their homes, and then call in the fire service to help us understand how to operate these gadgets so that in case of any fire outbreak, we can use it effectively to deal with the fire situation so that they do not get out of hand and then they do not ravage property. Aside the fire extinguisher, we also want to recommend that we also give to our loved ones with these smoke alarms. Once we have these smoke alarms and we install them in our living areas, our bedrooms, our escape routes, our corridors, our offices, and anywhere available on our premises, it will also alert us when there is any fire situation so that we can alert all our family members who are within the premises to escape to safety. Many times these fires do occur in the night, and before we are even made aware, it means that the whole place is smoky. And once the place is smoky, we tend to inhale them, and it makes us fall into deep sleep before the fire comes to burn us. But once we give these smoke alarms to our our loved ones, it helps to alert them at the slightest occurrence of fire so that they can escape. Because once lives are saved, I think it will go a long way to help us to live our lives in peace and without any fires coming in to destroy our party or destroy our normal lives. And in terms of the preparation that we have put in place, we are liaising with event organizers. We know there are going to be a lot of events. As we were even mentioning, Stonebwoy, all the artists planning to organize these events, we are in touch with them. And then we are going to ensure that we put in measures that would ensure that all the patrons that will be coming for these events, their lives are secured. Their parking lots are well secured. There are safety measures. We have enough people on standby to take intelligence to ward off any security or safety concern. And then also to ensure that if there is any form of stampede, they are de-escalated, people are evacuated to safety. within the shortest possible time. And quite recently, we had reports in the media that almost about more than 50% of our fire tenders had broken down. By God's grace, we have been able to put back on the road over 80% of these tenders, which are ready to help us to be able to respond to any fire and related emergency during the period. So that is what we are trying to do. And activated our home safety educators who will be going around our commercial centers to ensure that there is compliance to our safety regulations. And then also, if there is any need for our rapid response in terms of fires, they would be the first point of call before an appliance is dispatched. The home safety educators will also be taking advantage of the radio station information centers within our community. We'll be doing some one-on-one engagement. Would also be very much active on social media, where we'll be sending out safety messages by means of video, flyers, whatever form that it will take, so that people can resonate with the season and to be able to put their house in order. So these are the pragmatic safety measures that we have been able to put in place. And we are looking forward to a peaceful, joyful, and then a merry festive season, devoid of any fire and then related emergency. And we would want to also plead with the general public that in case of any fire or related emergency, such as road crash or maybe entrapment, or somebody wanting to end his or her life by means of climbing these high tension poles and pylons and what have you, just to jump onto the ground to end his or her life, please do not hesitate to call us immediately on our emergency numbers, which still remains 112 192, or any of our hotlines such as 030 277 2446, 030 277 2446 for prompt response, so that at any point in time, if there is any emergency anywhere within the country, we are ready to respond and to save lives and to safeguard property.
Well said. Thank you so much, DO2 Aka. Thank you so much for the tips that you have given us, and then also all the cautions that you have given us to ensure that we stay safe with our family, our loved ones, and then also to see the year 2025. We'll be coming to you more often during this Xmas period, because as we know, the media, we do not break. We are not going on break. Yeah, so we are still here to serve you. We'll be coming to you intermittently should something happen for your reaction. Thank you so much for this morning.
My pleasure.
Okay, so that was DO2 Aka. Let me wrap up quickly with Amasa. Amasa, please, are you there? Amasa, are you there? Okay, so let me just wrap up with the front story. Also, when we come to cybersecurity, there are some tips that you have to take note of, because during this period we have a surge in then what? Buying and shopping and purchases of stuff. So online shopping is something that you also have to pay attention to. There are a lot of fake stuff in there. We also have scams, so you just have to be cautious of how you deal with all these things. You only have to shop with people, the shops, and then vendors and websites that you think are trustworthy. If you do not trust the vendor, the social media, the one handling it, don't try it. Try to shop with people that you trust, at least, so that you will not be scammed. So stay safe in all aspects of your dealings during this festive season. Amasa, please, are you back?
Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm here.
Okay, so let me wrap up quickly with you so that we can end the segment for the other segments to also continue. So your final words. Your final words before.
Yes. So people are supposed to get money to be able to attend all these events.
Of course.
These events are very good. It's like this the first time artists themselves have been able to organize events, and if you don't come, one of the events that you personally have to attend is Sarkodie's Rapperholic concerts, which he has been doing back to back. every year. He has been doing back to back, I think, since 2013 or 2014. Sarkodie has been very religious with this event. He has been doing it back to back. So, Ahimia, you have to attend. Kim Promise also.
Of course, I will. I have to wind down, so I will.
Yes. So, DMV takeover is also happening at the garage. And personally, I'm inviting all children to come to Eugene's. Let the children come to Eugene, happening at the Elwak Sports Stadium on the 1st of January. And also, I'm inviting you personally to my personal event.
In fact, I have 20 kids, so should I bring all of them?
Yes, just that. I think one kid is 30 cedis, and a family of 5 is like 120 cedis or so.
In my case, I have a family of 20. A family of 20.
Oh, yes.
Myself and then the 20 kids.
There is a big discount for larger families. I think I will share the flyer with you so that when you call them, you'll be able to negotiate with them. Okay. But the personal event I'm having, which I'm inviting everybody at ABC News Ghana, is the Cake and Sip event happening on the 2nd of January.
Cakes, yes.
At Abelemkpe. Okay. So this event, we bake the cake. When you come, we teach you how to decorate your own cake.
Oh, good.
We have food, we have drinks, we have cocktail, we have good music. I'll be MC myself. I'll be doing some dance classes during the event. So
that's
you
beautiful.
come to any events.
That's great. That's great. In fact, we are coming in our numbers. My sister
from Sefi Cakes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we will be coming in our numbers. Reserve a lot for us.
Yes,
we are coming to enjoy.
I will.
Because we've really done a lot for the year 2024. We can't afford to miss all this event. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Amasa. And then continue to have fun this season. It is a season to do great things. Okay, so that is Amasa, an event planner and MC who came through for us to discuss all the issues and all the events and activities that you need to know and not to miss this Christmas season. Up next is Pause and then Tech Trick with Melo.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the sports segment on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumikisi. Now let's do some sports now. As the Black Maidens delivered a commanding performance in the first semi-final of the WAFU B and the 17 Girls Cup, defeating Cote d'Ivoire 5-0. Christiana Asheku's impressive hat-trick and goals from Zipporah and Saida to Wahab secured Ghana's spot in the final. Now, Christiana Sheku opened the scoring in the 13th minute and added to the tally in the 16th minute before completing her hat-trick inside 45 minutes. Now, Ghana asserted authority from the start, showcasing the attacking superiority and defensive composure. Zipporah extended Ghana's lead to 4-0 in the 48th minute before Saida to Wahab sealed the 5-0 victory with a composed finish in the 67th minute. Now, Ghana's defense maintained a disciplined display, denying Cote d'Ivoire's any goal. Now, Black Maidens advanced to the final, pursuing the WAFU B and the 17 Girls Cup trophy. Cote d'Ivoire will regroup to compete for the third place. From that, the Black Galaxies goalkeeper Benjamin Asari has assured Ghanaians of victory against Nigeria in the Championship for African Nations, which is the CHAN qualifiers. Now, Ghana is facing Nigeria for the second time running, having edged them out penalties 2 years ago to secure a spot in the last edition. Now, the Black Galaxies will display host to their neighbors at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday, December 2024, before the reserves fixture in Nigeria. As part of their preparation, Ghana recently beat Togo in the international friendly game, with Albert Anwa and Issa Yakubu getting the goals. Now, speaking ahead of the game, Asari, who is the captain of Hearts of Oak, has promised victory against their West African neighbors.
Yes, we are sat now. Opportunity say, let me add opportunity we say about Black Galaxies because say no mess, support here because so much in the maximum we need that win, and now because yeah we ultimately winning so because yeah when you might be better than a dying because yeah say achieve maybe na Ghana funds ultimately we say baby all those say nyame adum players number one say na look up players mom so we are good. When we say football they be at Messi. And so they be more but just I want to tell them that they should come into no mess to come and support us, but we will give them victory.
Away from that, the Black Stars coach Otoado recently visited injured Leicester City winger Abdul Fattah Issahaku as he continues his recovery, as well as fit again Jordan Ayew. The coach spent quality time with both players on the mend and the other back to full fitness in the East Midlands. Now, Fattah Issahaku is currently undergoing rehabilitation after suffering a serious knee injury that had ruled him out from the rest of the season. As a result, he will miss Ghana's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Chad and Madagascar now in March, which will be in March 2024. Meanwhile, Jordan has fully recovered from an injury sustained during Ghana's 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier against Angola on November 16, 2024. Now, and his return to action with Leicester City. Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more sports updates, please log on our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu. Up next is Tech Trick with Melo.
Yes, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Tech Trick here on ABC in the Morning. I am Eric Chineboamelo, and it's time to dive into some tech news. Today, we'll be discussing essential tips and some tricks for Windows. Now, although Windows 11 sports a sleek new visual design, it's also fundamentally similar to Windows 10 under the hood. So, however, there are several new features and settings that you can also take advantage of. And if you haven't had a chance to also explore all the best tips in Windows 11, start now, because I'm here to share some tips with you with your Windows 11. So keep an eye on for a new feature as they also are being released. So let's add it to this list for today and become also available to you. So let's begin with tips and tricks for your Windows 11. So on your Windows, you can do a lot of things, and one thing you can also do is to realign the start button. Okay, so if you're new to Windows 11 especially, you may also have to, you have also noticed that the start button is a new centered on the taskbar instead of being located at the lower left corner. So if you prefer the old placement, just as you see the display on your screen, you can also change it back to the right click on taskbar and select the taskbar settings. Now in that situation, the taskbar behavior drops down menu and change the taskbar alignment to left. Your taskbar icon will also shift to the left, restoring the start button to its traditional position. For more on personalization and Windows 11 taskbar, you can also check our guide out as we've displayed on your screen. Again, on your Windows 11, you can also generate text and images with Copilot. So need to write a recommendation, but don't also know where to start. For instance, you want to write something, you want to generate a content, you want to generate an image, and you don't know where to go or begin. You would have to improve the tone or grammar of the email. Also, well, it's quite simple. Perhaps you also need some quirky image for your newsletter in Microsoft Capital or in all that. So Microsoft Copilot or Copilot, let me just say, can assist with these tasks and more. So if you access it by clicking the colorful swearing icon on the right end of the taskbar, or by pressing Windows key plus C, so Windows C, you can also use your voice to also instruct it. You can issue a command by just adding your voice to it, and it can also retain the context of your conversation. It can also write code, summarize web pages or PDFs for you, and also even compose poems on your chosen topics. So if you can also drag and select all these things, you can help chat box. We can also help you out with this, so you can also have a try of the Copilot devices. Again, on your Windows, you can also customize the quick setting panel, and Windows 11 also separates the quick settings from the notification that were included in the Action Center in Windows 10. So for instance, to open the quick setting menu, you can click the area of the taskbar containing the Windows or the Wi-Fi over there, and speaker also in the battery icon. Now this menu lets you control your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your airplane mode, battery saver mode, and more. So to also add or remove settings button, you can also click the pencil shaped edit quick setting button, and you can also unpin features that you don't want or want to be part of it. And you can as I said, add to make new options accessible in the quick setting menu. Again, on your Windows 11, you can create and manage multiple desktop. So Microsoft has also replaced the old text view button with a redesigned icon to the taskbar, making it quite easier to create and manage multiple desktop. However, over the icon to see any open virtual desktop or also create a new one, you can also rearrange this desktop as needed, and also your apps from one desktop and can also drag into another. So you can also use different wallpapers for each virtual desktop and also help you distinguish them. Right click on the desktop, choose personalize, then also your background, and select a different image of your choice on your desktop. Now note that this is only a work background, not for themes, and if you also apply for a theme, it will also apply to a virtual desktop. However, after applying a theme, you can also still customize the background per desktop, giving you a nice crossfade effect on that, and you can also switch in all of that. And finally, maybe I can just wrap up with this tip for you. You can also see information at the glance with your widget. So while Windows 10 introduced Widget, Windows 11 also embraces them fully. So if you want to check your weather view or your latest sports scores, you track your stock prices and also watch nearby traffic. You can also manage your Outlook calendar. You can also check off your tasks on your to-do list or also read the latest news. You can also have a widget icon on the taskbar, and it can also make you secured and covered over there. So you can also customize the widget to suit your need and also rearrange them on the page. You can manage your news feed preference through Microsoft Start, and additionally you can also add your third-party widgets, including those from Spotify and Facebook Messenger. Finally, the last tip I leave with you. You can also increase security by using passkey. Now, passwords are becoming quite outdated and less secure as compared to the other options. So some websites and apps now support more secure passkey for logins, so which are also tied in the device to also help you store your information. So Windows 11 can also now store your passkey, or you can also utilize those saved in passkeys to other devices such as your smartphones, your passkeys in your Windows 11, and use your Windows Hello authentication via PIN and facial recognition or your fingerprint. So in all, what I want to tell you is that you don't always have to rely on the old preference on your Windows 10. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but for today, this all time would allow. But I hope we can also find something useful with this information that we've shared. But anyways, that's all for Tech Trick today. I am Eric Chinyabwa-Melo, and the show continues shortly after this break. Do stay.
Welcome back. Time now for Business Fix. We'll be looking at the economic outlook for the year 2025. Stick and stay. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So we'll be speaking to Professor Patrick Asuming. He's an economist. So we'll be looking at the economic outlook for the year 2025. And then just 3 days ago, in the course of the week, the President-elect John Dramani Mahama revealed that his administration will review and then renegotiate existing agreements with Ghana's development partners to better address the country's current needs. He also emphasized that these adjustments are crucial for aligning the government with its partners as they work together to rebuild the nation's economy. This adjustment is essential to ensure that the new government is in sync with our development partners, he said. Mahama also stated that expressing his eagerness to collaborate with all stakeholders to restore economic stability. He further acknowledged that the challenges ahead, the years 2025, 2026, 2027 to the end of his tenure, he was so realistic about it that the difficulties in returning Ghana to economic normalcy is very key. And then to quote him, he said, "I don't kid myself that it will be an easy task. It is going to be tough," he remarked. However, he reassured the public that his government is determined to meet the high expectations of the Ghanaian people. Mahama also shared that he has already initiated discussions with the key institutions, including the World Bank and the IMF, to ensure that existing programs are adjusted to reflect the current economic realities. Ghana currently has a 36-month, $3 billion extended credit facility agreement with the IMF, as well as several loan agreements with the World Bank, including a $250 million Ghana Financial Stability Project and another $250 million for the Ghana Energy Sector Recovery Program. The IMF, in a statement on its website, reiterated its commitment to supporting Ghana's economic recovery. It stated that the primary focus is to help Ghana restore macroeconomic stability, ensure debt sustainability, and also foster long-term inclusive growth. This remain the core objectives of the current IMF-supported program. Ghana's performance under the program has been generally satisfactory, with notable progress on debt restructuring. The IMF added to its statement it posted on its website. And then it also added that while the adjustment to the program could be discussed, any changes would be made in partnership with the country's authorities, ensuring that the economic goals of the reform programs are still achievable. And it goes on and on with the renegotiation of these critical agreements. The country could see a recalibration of its economic policies that better suit the current challenges it faces. Mahama's approach of actively engaging with international financial institutions may pave way for more flexibility in managing the country's debt and implementing structural reforms. If it goes well, these adjustments could foster a more resilient economy, capable of weathering global uncertainties and then ensuring sustainable growth. However, much depends on how well the new government navigates these negotiations and also to implement policies that align with both domestic and international expectations. Only time will tell whether this strategy will lead to the prosperity that Ghana so urgently needs. Does this plan bond well for Ghana's economic future? And I have with me Professor Asuming. He will do the analysis of the statement from the IMF and then also what the president said. But before Professor Asuming, let us take a listen to what President-elect John Dramani Mahama has to say on the renegotiation of the IMF bill.
To the debt renegotiation, and we're also not party to the IMF program. But happily, we've had the opportunity, on my request, to meet the country director of the IMF, and he's briefed us, quite largely on a lot of what the two agreements entail, the IMF one and the debt agreements. We've not yet seen the final details of the debt with the commercial creditors, but we've looked at some of them, and we've done our own analysis of how the repayment schedule is supposed to be. We're supposed to end at about 55 to 58% by 2028.
Yes.
But if you look at it and our own analysis, if you draw the graph, we have two major humps. One in 2026, where a big chunk of the domestic debt is supposed to be paid. I think it's about 182 billion cedis. And if you consider that Ghana's total budget is just above 200 billion, then it means that there's going to be a hump there, and we need to see how to deal with it. Then the next hump is just before 2028, where there's a big payment in terms of commercial debt.
Right.
And so we need to look at how we can refinance some of this so that we can smoothen out the trajectory of the debt repayments.
Right.
And so those are things we would want to engage the IMF very early when we win, to engage them very early to see how we can work together, to make sure that we're able to maintain debt sustainability. We want to reintroduce the sinking fund, and we want to work on increasing our energy, oil and gas production. Over the last 8 years, Ghana has not been a very friendly environment to upstream producers, and so we'll try and get as many of them to come back as possible and give them the incentives that are required for them to ramp up in oil and gas production. Over the last 8 years, Ghana has not been a very friendly environment to upstream producers, and so we'll try and get as many of them to come back as possible and give them the incentives that are required for them to ramp up in terms of.
So these are some of the measures and the plans of the President-elect John Dramani Mahama into the year 2025. I have with me on the line Professor Patrick Asuming for further discussion on this particular developing story or report, the submission by the President-elect Mahama. Good morning, Prof, and welcome to ABC in the Morning.
Good morning, and good morning to viewers. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having you too. A quick one. I just wanted to know, what are some of the potential economic implications of renegotiating Ghana's IMF agreement?
Well, I think, yes, renegotiation has been mentioned, but it's really more or less a discussion, a mutual discussion about how to make the program work better. It was instructive to hear the President-elect says that they were not part of the negotiation. They have not been part of the discussion. So I think that initial discussion is very important. And also, in my view, I don't think the current program has done or is doing enough to tackle our fundamental fiscal challenges. So, for instance, I think even though we are doing some revenue mobilization, it's mostly come in the form of imposing new taxes rather than addressing the fundamental issues about compliance, exemptions, and then some of the low-hanging fruit that we should be collecting that we are not collecting. So I think such a discussion, especially if it is more broad-based and you bring a lot more ideas or bring a bigger coalition of Ghanaian experts, I think that's going to help. That way, all of us will know exactly what the options are and which ones we are going for. And then it becomes much easier to implement the program. I think the current program didn't have a lot of broad-based discussion. It appears that the Finance Ministry and his team didn't do enough consultation. So I think, based on what I've heard the President-elect says, those are the kind of things, and I think that can only be good for the program.
Okay, so I also wanted to know how much it affects the country's fiscal and then its debt.
Well, in essence, as for the debt restructuring seems like it's almost coming to an end. I think it's only one component that is we are yet to see, and that's the commercial creditors. The Eurobond holders is done. The domestic debt exchange obviously was closed much earlier. And then the bilateral debt, the broader framework has been agreed. But I think what's important is to ensure that our fiscal position is such that we are not adding more to the debt. Every year that we run budget deficit, we are going to add to the debt. So I think that is where we have to focus on. Make sure that we are cutting expenditures and we are raising revenues in more sustainable and business-friendly way. I think that's where the current government didn't really do enough. So if you're able to have more broad-based revenue collection, that's going to help with keeping the debt at sustainable levels going forward.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to know, given that Ghana's current debt levels, do you think renegotiating the IMF deals is a feasible solution? Or could it risk it further?
I think, like I said at the beginning, so I mean, it's a discussion and renegotiation. Don't forget, these things happen. When we were in the IMF program number 16, in spite of what the then MPP said when they were in opposition, notice that when they came to power, the program was extended. That comes by a discussion and negotiation. So I think it's something similar that we are going to do. And obviously, the IMF wouldn't want to change the program in such a way that it will increase the debt position. That's not something that it will agree to. But it will accept innovative suggestions for trying to improve the fiscal consolidation effort. And I think that's what you expect. So that it will only help with the debt situation and overall how the program is going to be implemented. So I think it's something that is good and that should be embraced. At least based on what the president-elect has put out, the kind of thing that he's speaking about. I think those are important, and it's good that that kind of discussion happens with the IMF.
Okay, it is good, but then I also want to know that what are some of the key factors that you think the president-elect John Mahama should consider to ensure that real negotiating these agreements will be beneficial? He has made his plans, but maybe from your expert view, you have some factors that you think that if he should also look at that, it will also help.
Well, I think, let's start with some of the proposals he made during the campaign and the fan issuing the NDC manifesto. I think that, you should be cautious about removing the taxes. The one tax that I wouldn't blink about removing would be the e-levy. I think that it should go right away. At the first budget, it should go. But the other ones, they should be more cautious and look for, not remove them until we have found different ways of improving the revenue collection. I think paying more attention to reducing illicit financial flows out of our country is extremely important. That could save us way more money than some of the taxes are giving us. So improving the governance situation, because corruption in public sector as well as overpricing of government projects is one of the areas where we lose a lot of money. So those are areas that I think it should be very important for the new government to pay attention to, because if you are collecting more revenue and more is leaking out, then there's no point, finding ways to collect more of the revenue until you seal the hole, you seal the leakages, and these leakages come in the form of, like I said, overpricing of government projects. That's a big problem, and then also the exemptions that we are giving. So I think if we're able to tackle those ones, that will be important. But ultimately, we have to fix the economy itself. So all these discussions is about public finances, but the economy itself is not working, and it's not working very well. Even when we are reporting that growth has returned or growth has been high, it's not creating jobs. And I think what the incoming government should focus on, developing the agri sector, and then along with that, improving agro-based manufacturing and agribusiness, where there's more value to be made. When we are improving those sectors, we are going to create more jobs. We are going to help bring food prices down. And some of the problems that we've seen in the last couple of years will be reduced. So in addition to fixing the fiscal challenges, I think the most important part is the economy. We all know that these elections ultimately came down to the economy. And I think that's where improvements are needed.
Okay, Prof. Before I let you go, can we look at Ghana's debt stock? As it stands now, as at June, the mid-year budget review, we had 742 billion Ghana cedis amidst the cedi depreciation. Going into the year 2025, and then with new government on board, do you think the amount we are having now, it can be reduced drastically?
Well, I think the amounts will come down when we have finalized all the debt restructuring. At the moment, those numbers have not been applied yet. So when we finish, and all the savings from the various, debt savings that we've been talking about, it will come down. But I don't think just bringing it down should be our focus. Making sure that the debt, we don't go back there. Because you can bring it down. I mean, just like anybody, you can bring your debt levels down. But if your behavior that makes you accumulate the debt, if that part doesn't improve, you will get back there again. And I think that's where we should focus on. This is where the budget balance is very important. The difference between how much revenue government is collecting and how much it is spending. So I think that's where we should keep our eye on. Because as for the reduction, it is a one-time event. The accumulation process is where we have to put our attention. And I think making sure that year on year, government is living within its means. And that, what it collects is being used for the intended purposes. And we are making the most from government expenditure. I think that's where the key is. That way, when we get those savings and the debt levels come down, we don't quickly accumulate the debt.
Prof, I said I wanted you to go, but then the finance minister is expected in Parliament today to submit the mini budget for the first quarter of the year 2025. He was supposed to have done that days ago. For the fourth time, he was unable to be in Parliament. Without it, what are some of the implications? Because we need Ghana or government, the next government needs this amount, the mini budget, to run the other sectors. In the absence of that, what are some of the implications that the incoming government may face?
I don't think we should even contemplate that. This has to be done. That's the responsible thing to do. If it doesn't pass, if he doesn't present it for it to be agreed, it means that from 1st January, there's no approved spending for the government of Ghana. And that cannot be allowed to happen. So I don't think it's something we should contemplate. Whatever it takes for him to come and present, he has to make sure that he does it today. You get the sense that it's all this political bickering that is preventing that from happening. But where we have gotten to, I think cool helps will prevail, and that has to be done. I think it's going to be done. We don't want to contemplate a situation where there's no approval for paying government workers. Essentially, government will come to a halt. That's not something that we should even be contemplating.
Thank you so much, Prof, for your time. We appreciate your contribution, your input on this particular topic, and then we'll always come back to you. Always come through for us anytime, and we talk about economy and then finance and all the issues that account for it. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so that is Professor Patrick Asuming. He is an economist. He came through for us to discuss the outlook of the economy in the year 2025. So there are a lot to be done. The finance minister is expected to be in Parliament today. And then we are looking forward that he will be there to present the mini budget. The other sectors, the various sectors of the economy, it has to run. Without the mini budget, it then means that a lot cannot be done. So we'll be moving straight into our main discussion, we will be moving straight to our main discussion for today, and then let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Good morning, and then good morning once again. If you are now tuning in, this is ABC in the morning, and my name is Ohimia Amponsan. We are welcome back straight into our main discussion for today. So let's go straight into the Electoral Commission and all their processes, and then their press conference. Yesterday they had a press conference, and it all has to do with the seats under contention. The 2024 elections went peaceful. The vice president, who was then the flag bearer of the MPP, conceded peacefully. So many thought that it ended just like that. However, afterwards, there are a lot of dispute, chaos, troubles here and there. The Electoral Commission has firmly stated that it will not validate results declared under duress or without adherence to proper collation processes as enshrined in the law. Addressing the media yesterday, Thursday, December 19, on controversies surrounding the results from 9 outstanding constituencies, the EC chair, the chairperson, Jean Mensah, condemned the actions of political party supporters who disrupted the collation activities at constituency centers during the December 7 polls. Madam Mensah noted that collation processes across all centers were proceeding in accordance with the provision of the constitutional instrument, that is the CI 127, until violent disruption occurred. The EC chairperson disclosed that some staff faced threats of death and were coerced into declaring results without following due process. And a typical example has to do with the Tema Central case, where the electoral officer over there issued a press statement. Citing specific instances, Madam Mensah highlighted disruptions in the Ablekuma North and Okankwe Central constituencies, noting that the results for these areas were declared without collating data from 62 and 31 polling stations respectively. Madam Jean Mensah further appealed for enhanced security to ensure the smooth completion of the recollation process for the remaining 9 constituencies, condemning the actions of political party supporters who disrupted the collation activities at the constituency centers during the December 7 polls. Let us take some excerpts from yesterday's press about the Electoral Commission.
Country. As a commission, we have always maintained that our mandate is not to make anybody a president or a member of parliament. Our mandate, as per the Constitution, is to carry out credible, transparent, and fair elections whose outcomes guarantee that the choice of the voters as expressed at the polls is upheld. This was evident in the just ended general election which took place on Saturday, the 7th of December 2024. Indeed, the process has been hailed by world leaders and by both local and international observers as credible, transparent, and highly successful. The Commission is keen to ensure that all the outstanding processes in the 9 constituencies follow due process. It goes without saying that what happened during our attempt to complete the collation process in some of the 9 constituencies is unlawful. As indicated, the Commission will not uphold declarations ensuing from incomplete and unlawful processes. And these include in Sawam Aduajiri, where parties, of course, on election day besieged the collation centers and brought the collation there to a halt. As mentioned, the Commission tried to complete the collation process on Friday, the 13th of December. However, when it got to 143, the collation for 143 polling stations, there was an agreement that they should put it on hold until the following day. Sadly, that following day was not to be, and the collation was called off because we were informed by the police service that supporters of the parties were planning to besiege the police depot and to cause disruptions at the center, and we were advised to put it on hold. And so that collation is incomplete and we cannot declare an outcome. I must note that in the Ahafo-Ano Southwest and in the Ahafo-Ano North, as the collation on election day was also disrupted and no winner. Again, that process was not lawful and the commission would not uphold it. In the Okaigwe Central, I did mention that 110 polling stations results were used to declare a winner instead of 141. The commission would not uphold that process. In the Ablekuma North constituency, 219 polling station results were used to declare a winner instead of 281 polling station results. The commission would not uphold that declaration. In Tema Central, the DO again was threatened and he was forced to declare results using 146 polling stations instead of 148. The commission would not uphold that declaration. In Bono East, the officer was physically assaulted. In Bono East, in Techiman South, in the Bono East region, the officer, the returning officer and other staff were physically assaulted and forced to redeclare the results at gunpoint. The commission, it's important to note that the collation process had not been completed. There also the commission would not uphold those processes. In Domi Kwadenya, there's some contention with 3 polling station results, and the commission is carrying out its own investigation with the 3 polling station results. I believe 367 of those results have been duly declared as legitimate. There are 3 results that are outstanding, and the commission is carrying out its own investigations to allow it, to enable it to take a decision. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a nutshell of the issues outstanding in the 9 constituencies. In the view of the commission, upholding such unlawful collation.
So that was the Electoral Commission, the chairperson, John Mensah, giving us all the instances and then also explaining why there is the need for the recollation. However, this doesn't sync well with the NDC. They are not happy with it, and they keep citing the CI 127. And then when you look at the CI 13, for instance, it says that recollation, they are giving reference to what actually happened .
North constituencies, a winner was declared without collating results, again disrupted and taken over by political party leaders and supporters, and the results declared for both constituencies without due process being followed. In the case of Okaigwe Central, a winner was declared without collating results from 31 polling stations. In the case of the Ablekuma North constituency, a winner was declared without collating results from 62 polling stations. This is unacceptable. It is important to note that the declarations made by our staff were made under threat, and the Commission considers this as illegal. Those declarations, as well as others that have gone on in other constituencies, will not be upheld by the Commission. Again, disrupted and taken over by political party leaders and supporters, and the results declared for both constituencies without due process being followed. In the case of Okaigwe Central, a winner was declared without collating results from 31 polling stations. In the case of the Ablekuma North constituency, a winner was declared.
The Electoral Commission chairperson is asking the president-elect and then the outgoing president, Nana Akufo-Addo, to step in and then ensure the provision, the arrangement for security so that the recollation of these seats and the contention can continue. Before we played her bite, I was referring to a typical case with the Techiman South issue where the chairperson of the Electoral Commission 2020, she was referenced and then quoted instances where the NDC were pressing on the EC chair to recollate it, but per the statement that the Electoral Commission released, and then let me quote it. It says that the recollation can be done at all levels when requested before the declaration of results. However, once election results have been declared, a dissatisfied party cannot request for a recollation or recount of the results. So this is the quote from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission in the year 2020 when the Techiman South issue happened. Some electoral officers have said that they were forced to declare these results under coercion, under duress. Some other people are saying that who then determines who is under duress? Is it not in the Supreme Court? Where does it lie, and who does it lie? Under whose ambit does it lie to determine that this person was under duress? What are some of the signs? What are some of the indicators? Are there evidences to show, or the Electoral Commission is just going by what the 8 electoral officers said? And then the other aspect where other people are also arguing is that we have some EC officers as returning officers in the various constituencies representing the EC at that particular level. So instances where they declared some of the constituencies or the parliamentary candidates MPs elect, what becomes of them? Does it mean that they didn't do their work well? When you look at Domi Kwabena, for instance, we had the NDC candidate declared winner, that is Eli Queen. When you come to Okaigwe Central, we also have Baba Sadiq being declared winner. When you go to Ablekuma North, we have Erabna declared winner of that particular set. And then even with Ablekuma, just 3-4 days ago, we had issue where the library of the Kwashima cluster of schools, where it housed the ballot boxes and then the papers, the library was raised down. Investigation is ongoing as to the source of the fire and then what actually happened. Cases where the Electoral Commission want to recollate and then start the recollation again after halting it. What are some of the evidences? How are they going to handle the Ablekuma North issue in particular? And then when you go to Suhum, the NPP candidate was also declared winner, and then the NDC also has an issue with it. When you come to Akwetia, the NPP candidate was also declared winner over there. Let us come straight to Fanti Akwa North. In Fanti Akwa North, we had 2 returning officers declaring both candidates. So we had one, the main returning officer, declaring the NDC candidate winner. And then the deputy returning officer also came to declare the NPP as a winner. So in this case, we are having 2 people being declared as winner for just 1 seat. And then when you come to Tema Central is where E.B. Bright of the NDC was also declared winner. And that is where Ofosu Hini, the electoral officer over there, released a statement explaining all that happened, giving an account of all the instances and the situations that happened. When you go to Ahafo Ano Southwest, there wasn't any declaration. Ahafo Ano North, no declaration. And then Obuasi East, the NDC, they are not happy with it. The lawyer for the Obuasi East and then the Ashanti region of the NDC had an interview with the media yesterday. Let us take a listen to it. Let us take a listen to it. He was actually explaining why they would not allow the Electoral Commission to maintain the MPP candidate as a winner.
In such a criminal scheme. Now, we need Ghana to be peaceful. If you go to Sablugu, even though the MPP won, our party over there had issues with the declaration. What we have told them is to go to court. On the strength of EC's own precedent, 2020, where in Techiman South, we had a cause to call for recollation. The EC told all of us that you go to court. What has changed? The inconsistency on her part is enough to demonstrate incompetence, classical incompetence, and doing everything possible to render this nation chaotic. I am daring President Akufo-Addo and daring the Electoral Commission. They should try the recollation. They will do it in the sky. And I'm advising the MPP. They have lost.
The EC even could not declare the presidential elections. And it was part of the constituencies that was not declared. And today, the EC is saying that they don't have the pink sheets of TEPA because they were vandalized by thugs. So if you don't have any pink sheet, all that we are calling for is a rerun of that elections. It's as simple as that. So that when you go for a rerun and you think you won, it will repeat itself. Nothing will change. Mankranso is unfortunate. You see, do you know why I said it's unfortunate? Because Mankranso, the presidential was collated and declared. And John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, won that decisively. When we were about to collate the parliamentary, that was when the chaos came in. So we are saying that if the EC does not have the pink sheets as they are claiming, there should be a rerun of the parliamentary. If Jojo does not work, then we take the legal action. Then we'll determine the fate of these two constituencies. For Obuasi East, it's settled and determined. For Obuasi East, it's settled and determined. We have won, and the EC should stay clear from Obuasi East. Nobody is going to allow anything to happen in Obuasi East. The EC, Ashanti, they were vandalized by thugs. So if you don't have any pink sheet, all that we are calling for is a rerun of that elections. It's as simple as that. So that when you go for a rerun and you think you won, it will repeat itself. Nothing will change. Mankranso is unfortunate. You see, do you know why I said it's unfortunate? Because Mankranso, the presidential was collated and declared. And John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, won that decisively. When we were about to collate the parliamentary, that was when the chaos came in. So we are saying that if the EC does.
So these are some of the concerns of the NDC lawyer on the TEPA, the Obuasi East and all the issues. We have on the line Mr. Kumi Addo, David Kumi Addo. He is the executive director of Care Ghana. He is joining via on the phone. And then I also have with me Julius Anthony, a member of the NDC communications team. And then also Clinton Bani Bafo, he will be joining me on Zoom. Good morning, gentlemen, and then welcome to ABC in the morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I believe I have Mr. Kumi Addo on the line. Mr. Kumi, please, so far, all the issues, recollation, we halted it. The Electoral Commission had a presser yesterday. They said they want to resume it. What do you make of it? Your first take on that?
Okay, thank you. Good morning to yourself and then your cherished listeners.
Good morning.
We had this particular thing, I think, on the 9th of December, 2 days after the elections, where Mr. Samuel Tete, the Deputy EC Chair in charge of operations, had a press conference and told the entire nation that some declared results unaccepted as a result of issues that he enumerated. We allowed it to slide. We didn't make any comment about it, simply because we had thought that it was simply to assuage or douse the fire, or let me say, calm tempest. So we didn't take it serious because obviously there is no law that allows Jane Mensah, who is the EC chairperson, Dr. Bosman Asare, Deputy EC chairperson, Samuel Tete, Deputy EC chairperson, or any of the directors the opportunity or the right to call for a re-declaration. There is no law. So we knew that that wasn't going to stand. And perhaps it was just a passing comment just to calm tempest and also give some hope to some individuals that had lost elections in those constituencies. I haven't heard from the Electoral Commission yesterday tells us that yes, it is something that they had actually thought about and planned to do. It is illegal, it is inappropriate, and it is not useful for the advancement of our efforts to consolidate the democracy we have worked so hard to safeguard. The action or the attempted action of the Electoral Commission will bring chaos, will hurt our democracy, and is a threat to the peace and security of this country. Because you cannot reprobate and approbate at the same time. If it is not possible in 2020, it cannot be possible in 2024, where anyone can seek redress in having some challenges with some of the processes in our elections is the law court. The Electoral Commission knows this and must direct all those calling on it to intervene in this particular regard, to go to the law court as Jane Mensah did in 2020 when the issue of Tejima South came up. So we, first of all, want to commend all Ghanaians that went to the polling centers and the collation centers to ensure that the right things are done, policed the ballot, protected the will of the people to prevent its subversion. We are calling on them again that this is a duty call to save the democracy of this nation. Let us avert, prevent, and stop the Electoral Commission from engaging in any action that is illegal, because all the laws that ensures or helps the conduct of our elections, CI 91, CI 127, PNDC Law 284, and the 1992 Constitution do not permit the Electoral Commission to engage in such illegality. The Electoral Commission's decision and the press conference only exposes its double standards, and it gives me the impression that the Electoral Commission is bent on ensuring that its darling boys win the election at all costs. And that must be prevented fiercely with every strength that we can marshal. Because the Constitution, let me end please, the Constitution gives us the right to protect that Constitution. So we must stand up to anybody who attempts to engage in such illegality. You can go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, I just wanted to acknowledge the other guest who is joining us via Zoom, Clinton Baffo. He's with the MPP communications team. Hello, Clinton. Good morning. Welcome to ABC in the morning. Hello, Clinton. Okay, Clinton. So if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself so we can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you. So thanks for having you on ABC in the morning. I want your first take a bite of the topic that we are discussing. The Electoral Commission still want to go ahead and recollate and redeclare what has already been done by its own electoral officers. Isn't that creating chaos and disputes after a peaceful election?
Thank you very much.
And declarations will set a bad precedent for our country and set us back.
After the elections, and so I would want to use this platform to congratulate the Vice President and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, for upholding the democracy and ensuring that he managed the party's youth front very well to prevent any chaotic scenes or disruptions during, before, during, and after the elections. Also, it is also very important that I congratulate the NDC for emerging victorious with a decisive majority, and also President-elect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It's quite surprising that the same political party that applauds the EC for running a favorable election for them, I mean, in quotes, declaring their candidate as a winner today, they think is incompetent enough to address certain concerns that are evident through every media platform on what transpired in all these 9 constituencies during the electoral season. I'm not here to engage much on the technicalities and legalities of the conversation, because I believe that most of us who have been following this case are well privy to some of these discussions already. But what I would want to hit more on has to do with the fact that we are done with an election that has been very peaceful. However, we have some leftovers, or we have some few challenges that needs to be addressed. So the basic form of understanding and clarity to our viewers and then our listeners, I think that if for one or two reasons, one thing that at the Coalition Center, certain things didn't go on well, which is evident. I mean, you are displaying some of the videos for us to have a look at with the Tepa issue like this, going all the way to Ben, the facility that houses almost all these documents, just so that we don't have a document to refer for coalition. It speaks much to the improper way of handling this issue. And I think the NDC leadership should be able to call their people to order. I believe at the end of the day, if you think you have won an election, if you believe that the figures you have and the documents you have, which is an equal document to what the EC has, is one that declares you as a winner, I don't think there is a challenge with recollating the results due to certain issues that are evident enough. If I say evidence enough, I mean some of we, the media houses, I would also plead that we come clear on our statements that we put out there. I mean, we all saw what went on in all these areas. In the Techiman South, it got to the extent that they were even attacking Kosa. When you look at Tepa, the man was attacked, his gadgets were attacked, and the vandalism that went on obviously was inspired by the new Democratic Congress, who are in power now. And so if for these circumstances, someone feels that some of the activities or engagements that went on is not one that is fair enough for our democracy, I think based on the returning officers' feedbacks and then information to the Electoral Commission, it is not out of place that in a democratic society, we come to that realization that we should give room for recollation. You are asking of 2020, he told them to go to court. But in 2020, what were the instances? What were the indications? Were there no documents to defend it? What were the challenges? I think these cases are different, for which reason comes with different particular directive from the Electoral Commission. However, that is not an angle I would want to speak to. What I want to say is that if these constituencies have a challenge, and she highlighted some of the places, collation centers as high as 3162 were not added. How do we get a result declared? And yes, we want to blame the returning officers because we believe they didn't do their work well. But for many of us who are on the media space, and we still have the videos over there, with parliamentary candidates who supposedly feel that they had won the election were inciting their people to break into some of these facilities and attack the electoral officers that were in the building. And I believe that at that point in time, you and I seated here wouldn't have had any other choice than to protect your life before you even think of protecting the work that you are doing. Because when you are dead, there is nothing to even speak to. And so it is a matter of life and death, and it's a matter of security and peace. And I think that is the angle from which we should engage these issues. You won an election, and the party, the incumbent government that was holding on to power has expedited issues in accepting the results. They have expedited issues in ensuring that even transitional activities swiftly takes place. And so where from all this chaos that we want to recollate certain places where we had some polling stations not added being done, and you just incite your people to troop in their numbers and distort the process. We had a peaceful one being done for 3 constituencies, and it was declared and everybody accepted the result. So why is there a challenge on the remaining ones that we want to do? Yes, we might say that we want to go to the court and want to do the law. I mean, that is fair enough to request. But at the end of the day, we are not in a banana republic where someone feels like because he or she has lost an election, let me incite people to vandalize the document that will validate the election that we had. Going to burn the Tepa Library School, now you have run down an institution that could administer its duties in the education sector.
Clinton, let me come in here. Let me come in here.
Let me land, please. Just because at a point you feel like some of these documents are what could be based on for the recollation or whatever that the EC wants to do, you would want to say that you cannot put a name tag to the team that went to do the vandalism. But fair enough. I mean, this is not a point to play NDC MPP conversation or to tag someone else, but the evidence are there. I think for peace purposes, the leadership of the party, the elected president, the outgoing president, and even the leader of the New Patriotic Party, with other key stakeholders, should sit and find a way to resolve this issue. Because the beauty we've had in this election is one that hasn't been experienced for a while now, and I believe that we cannot jeopardize it with these few seats that we have left. We in the MPP, we do not have a challenge. We are not fighting. We are not pushing our way through to either become majority in parliament because the numbers would not even add up to that. But I believe that what is right must be done, and it must be done well. It is not out of place. If you are confident that you've won your elections, you have your pink sheet, you have your document. To the places where they think that they do not have the pink sheet, other parties have it. EC also has this. 3 parties all have these documents. And so why can't we do the collation? I think it's just a mere propaganda to incite people and let them feel that they have won the seat and at all costs they must be declared, just like what the EC said. Some of them were even declared under duress, under gunpoint. And this is evidence. Let us not make it look like it is the EC that is saying it. It is not the EC that is no,
so Clinton, what I want to understand is that I actually wanted to ask you did mention the Kwashima Library case. You said the furnace or the inferno that happened over there, it's intentional. Do we have evidences to say that, let's say, your opponents, those behind it?
You don't. There is a video. You can play the video.
And the video says that it's your opponent that set the fire into the library.
You can play the video for your viewers to have a look.
Maybe I would like to have that video. If you share it with us, we will peruse it.
So you don't have it, and you don't have it, and you were discussing it.
No, so we have the video. We have the video. Clinton.
Play the video.
Clinton. Please hold on. Let me come in. We have the video. We have the video of the library being set on fire. But what I want to understand is when you mention that someone intentionally, and I wanted to ask, is it the opponent?
What would make that facility set on fire?
That is what I want to know. Do you have the evidence to say that your opponents were those behind it?
This is not a question you need to ask. I mean,
so I shall assume that the opponent set the fire into it.
I am telling you what I have seen and what I know. If you think that for whatever reason you don't believe it, that is up to you. But the point
you should share that video with us.
We are not in the banana republic where people just sit and incite people to wake up and walk to the collation centers, attack them on gunpoint, make sure they declare our people as winners. I mean, Ghana hasn't gotten there yet. And so the NDC should tone down their aggression, and then they should find a reputable way to address some of these concerns. If you think you have won the election, have a way of addressing the attacks on an EC that has declared your president, and you think the EC has done a good job. Today, the EC wants to correct a wrong or right a wrong, and then you feel that because it doesn't favor you, the EC is not doing her job. I mean, the double standard position of my brothers from the New Democratic Congress is one that I don't think is good, and it's not a good start for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But I'm hopeful that in the coming days, some of these things would be addressed and then would be resolved appropriately, so that we can have a smooth transition and a smooth handing over ceremony, so that we can all witness the beauty of the governance of the New Democratic Congress as they have promised. That's the few things I want to say.
Okay, thank you so much for that. But then let me clarify something. On the Kwashima Library case, for instance, we had our men on the ground, and then we reported live. We spoke to the security officers over there. We had our checks, and per our checks, it never came through that a name of an opponent or the opposition party was named to be behind the inferno
what were the findings of your check?
At the library. Investigation is still ongoing. Clinton, let me land. Clinton, let me land. Let me land. Investigation is still ongoing. Okay? So per the information we had from the ground, we were not told that an opponent is behind it, because the investigations are still ongoing. So we are all waiting to know those behind it. That is the whole thing. And then also on ABC News, we report what is factual, credible, and then we are here to serve humanity. So that is it. The information we had is what we are putting on the screens. Yes, there was an inferno. The library was raised down and all that. The investigation is still ongoing. So Clinton, I'll come back to you shortly. Mr. Ado, please, what do you have to say about this whole thing? The library issue and then the recollection. You were saying something before I went to your brother, Clinton.
Thank you very much. I must say that we have very important listeners and viewers that are glued to their sets, that are listening to what the conversation we are having. So it is important that we take cognizance of the fact that it is just a privilege for us to be speaking for other people to listen, so that we will have a very good and cordial conversation. Okay, I would like to leave it there. You see, in the 2020 elections, and specifically Techiman South, lives were lost. Individual civilians were killed. Unarmed Ghanaians who had just gone to witness a collation were killed in the 2020 elections. 8 of them, 2 from the Techiman South constituency. Today we are being told, and even with that, even in 2020, when 2 lives were lost, Electoral Commission never allowed for a re-collation and re-declaration. Today we are being told, and what my brother said, that people declared results at gunpoint. I don't know about that. Maybe if he may help us with some evidence, videos to prove what he's saying. We did a collation. We did an IPVT in this 2024 election. That is an independent power voter tabulation. We were in 39,227 polling centers, and we're in all the coalition centers. We saw a mob, people who are calling for the right things to be done. We never saw civilians with guns at the head of any electoral officer. So we cannot speak to that. But if he has that, he should share those information with you so that you can put it out in the public. The media is supposed to be educating the public. So we must not allow for information that are not credible and that are not factual to just go through the media for people to just take hook, line, and sinker. So I beg, I'll ask that you ask for some evidence before you allow for some of these things to pass. I mean, the issue of the gunpoint that he said that the Electoral Commission's officer, that is the returning officer, was at the gunpoint before he declared the elections and all that.
Yes, that is Clinton. So that's exactly what I was asking him, if he has evidence to share with us. Because ABC, we report what is factual, credible, and then we are here to serve humanity. So Clinton, just as I said, if you have the evidence where you saw that there was a gunpoint on any of the returning officers, then maybe you can share with us. Then we move by that. Okay, I understand that he has dropped, the network didn't favor him. So Mr. Addo, you can continue. We'll try to establish contact with Clinton.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, the Electoral Commission never allowed a re-collation and re-declaration at Techiman South, even when there were clear evidence that there were violence. There were videos. 2 people lost their lives in Techiman South. Electoral Commission didn't allow, and we supported the Electoral Commission because the Electoral Commission must act lawfully. So what the law says is what the Electoral Commission must do. All of us, we must be law-abiding citizens, including even the president. So when the Electoral Commission didn't allow that, even with all that happened, we supported the Electoral Commission. We cannot support the Electoral Commission today for its decision. It will mean that we are supporting what is illegal, what is inconsistency with the law. Therefore, we are saying that whichever way, even if it was 2 polling stations that were collated and declared for somebody, the Constitution has given us a path to follow. And the pathway is going to a competent court of jurisdiction to have your issue addressed. So that is what all of us will support. And that is what we call on His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President-elect, and His Excellency Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the current president, and the police IGP to support the way of the law, not what the Electoral Commission thinks or wants. Other than that, we will be helping for us to have a banana republic where anybody in some authority, the head of a parastatal body, will want to dictate to us what is contrary to what the law says. Therefore, the Electoral Commission cannot and will not be allowed to conduct any recollation or redeclaration in any of the declared constituencies. That will not be allowed, because the Electoral Commission cannot be a commission and then the courts at the same time. There is a separation of powers, and the duties are spelled out to what you can do and what the other can do. You cannot pretend to be everything and everywhere and dictate and determine for us what should happen when you don't have the powers. So we cannot ascertain and then verify that what the Electoral Commission is saying is true, that somebody declared results under duress. What does duress mean? What are the evidence? Whatever evidence the person have should be used as an exhibit at the law court to argue out your case. So if you believe strongly that you have facts and evidence to what you are saying, simply go to the law court and get justice, because that is where justice is said. It is not in the Electoral Commission's headquarters or at the press room of the Electoral Commission. So this is simple. You cannot reprobate and approbate at the same time, and you cannot assume the position of the law by yourself. So the declaration that was made in the 2024 elections, and all the polling centers that had a declaration made, it stands like all the others. The rest that has not been collated and then declared, all parties must be called to the table to ensure that it is done freely, fairly, and transparently. But those that have been declared already are gone, my sister.
They are gone. Okay, so as it stands now, the Electoral Commission is so bent to recollect, to recollate, and then also to do the declaration. The Electoral Commission is even calling on the president-elect and then also the outgoing president to ensure that there is security arrangement to do that. Instances where these two presidents, let me say, oblige or honor the call by the Electoral Commission, what do we expect to see? Are we going to have two MPs in Parliament? Because as it stands now, when you go to Ewutu Senya East, now call you Phyllis, she's holding her Thanksgiving on the 22nd of December, this particular month. Today is 20th, meaning on Sunday, she believes that she is the MP elect, and then she's waiting to be sworn in into Parliament. With what the Electoral Commission wants to do, what do we expect? Do we have danger on our hands?
Rightly so. The Electoral Commission is creating confusion, and the Electoral Commission wants to create chaos in the country. Before the elections, it has been predicted that the 2024 elections was going to be chaotic. By the grace of God, we didn't get that. All of us have thanked God for his mercies and his protection of this country and our democracy. We cannot have one single individual parochial interest to bring this nation down. All those that have won and declared, I didn't declare them because I am not the Electoral Commission, and I didn't work for the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission did not give me any contract or appointment to become the presiding officer anywhere or returning officer anywhere. So it is the Electoral Commission itself that went on, engaging people that it so have confidence and trust in to deliver the work it has set out to do. And they have done their work. So far as that work has been done, we have held it, we have accepted it, and we are running with it. The Electoral Commission cannot create confusion in this country. You see, this particular commission, a lot of people are calling for the head of Jenensa, the head of Bosman Asare, the head of Samuel Tete, Sribo people, and the rest, Peter Piahene and the rest. Because this commission has been very, very partisan, has shown gross incompetence in the work that was entrusted or that has been entrusted in their hands. I can give you a litany of examples to buttress the point I'm making. And people are calling for the head because of the numerous errors, inconsistencies, unpardonable mistakes that have been committed by this commission. It is only this commission that has conducted special voting on 2 different days. 2 different days. It is only this commission that conducted a district level elections on 2 different days. It is only this commission that used Corel Draw to do calculation and tabulation. It is only this commission that duplicated the ID numbers to the voters' ID cards that were being issued to applicants in the 2020, before the 2020 elections. It is only this commission.
No, Mr. Makado, Mr. Kumi Ado, David, do we have an evidence to buttress this point that truly the Electoral Commission duplicated some voters' ID card in the 2020 elections?
I can share with you because we saw it and we called the Electoral Commission's attention. Initially, the Electoral Commission denied, but later on, when we put the evidence clear, 2 individuals, their voters' ID card that were issued to them, who had the same voters' ID number, when we published it, the Electoral Commission came back eating a humble pie, but watered down the effect to say that it is only 2 or 5 people whose ID numbers have been duplicated. But at the end, we realized that it was over thousands, to the extent that a prominent man of God, a pastor in this country, himself and his wife, voters' ID numbers were the same. The agenda was different, name different, polling center different, but voters' ID was the same. So we are not just making up any story. It is something we reported. It is something we wrote statements about. And it's something that was published before the 2020 elections. You can check when you just go to Google, Electoral Commission duplicates voters' ID numbers to applicants. You just see a litany of them, plenty. You can let your guys check for you.
No, so but did the Electoral Commission admit that truly having it online is different from the reality as to whether it is true or not?
Oh, you will get the reaction of the Electoral Commission as well. When you Google, whether we are lying or not, you will get a reaction. You will get the reaction of the Electoral Commission as well, from Dr. Sribo Kweku. Okay, so it is not something we are making up. See, we are a civil society organization. We are not a political party. Therefore, we don't support any political party. Believe that we have a nation to serve, and we can serve our nation through helping to ensure that there's a free, fair, credible, and transparent elections that meets international standards. And there is nothing we have said that has been challenged with contrary facts. So you can check all those things. This is Care for Free and Fair Elections Ghana. That's what we are. And we have never put out a statement that is false. Never. You can check that. So everything we do, we ensure that we check our facts. We check our facts. We check our facts. So I'm not saying any this thing to spite the Electoral Commission or to denigrate the Electoral Commission or anything. No. And everything and every example I've given, you can bear me witness that they are true. When the Electoral Commission couldn't do 1 + 1, you know it. And Jane Mensah herself came to tell us that her men were using Corel Draw, where even my son, who is 7-year-old, knows that you don't use Corel Draw for addition and subtraction and or multiplication. The Electoral Commission did. You get that? So I was saying this to buttress the point that this is the reason why people are calling for the head of the current commissioners.
And do you think it is the right thing to do? It is becoming too many that any time we have an election, there should be a change of EC. I believe she will even be the 39th Electoral Commission, if I'm right. Why don't we try to institute and then build the institutions? That is why we have the electoral reforms. After every election, we have the reforms. So all the issues, the chaos, the dispute, the troubles that we have seen and witnessed in the 2024 election, don't you think we have to give room and then space for the Electoral Commission to work on all these things rather than changing her and all the deputies?
You see, I would have supported what you are saying if this Electoral Commission is a listening Electoral Commission. When they made all those mistakes in 2020, we were part of those who were saying that we should allow that space to grow and get more experience. We were part of those who were calling for them to be allowed so that they will gain experience on the job because they are destined. But everything the Electoral Commission has done has told us that it is not ready to listen to anybody, even to Dr. Afari-Gyan. Jane Mensah told Dr. Afari-Gyan that anything anybody says, including Dr. Kojo Afari-Gyan, is just an advice. But the Constitution gives the Commission its independence. Therefore, when you give an advice, it is for them to take or reject. And they rejected all those advices. So this Electoral Commission is not an Electoral Commission who wants to change. This is not the Electoral Commission who wants to listen to the people whose taxes run the commission and pays her and the other commissioners and everybody that works in the commission. So if you are an unrepentant soul, one that comes with a lot of arrogance, you are very quick to shower praises onto yourself. The commission's IT system is robust. The electoral register is robust. The commission is the best commission that has ever happened to this country before. Then you make such mistakes, you commit such unpardonable errors, and you think that it should be in our place to pardon you, whilst even when we speak, you don't want to listen. I think that this commission is not a commission that can help us. And the reason why I am supporting those who are calling for a change in the commission is that if we are not careful, this commission and these commissioners will procure for us chaos and confusion. Therefore, I think that they must be relieved of their duties. It will be an honorable thing to do for Jane Mensah and her cohorts to want to put their tools down now and leave, so that we find competent hands, credible people who are non-partisan to man the commission. Because if one commissioner, and I'm talking about Dr. Bosman Asare, to tell one stakeholder, a key stakeholder, that key stakeholder is a threat to Ghana's democracy, and that key stakeholder today has assumed the reins of power, what do you think will happen? Do you think that they can work together? The cordiality that we seek for them to have, will we have it? It is not possible. It's not possible.
Okay, Mr. Makado. So I have the press release of the Electoral Commission. And as it appears that you are not so much happy with their intention or its intention to recollate and redeclare, let me take you through the press statement, case by case, per the constituencies under the seats under contention. So first off, the Eastern region in Nsawam Edrajiri. The Electoral Commission is saying that the collation center was besieged by hundreds of party supporters who violently obstructed the collation process and brought it all to a halt. Two ballot boxes and then one BVD were destroyed in the process. The third point, results for 100 out of 203 polling stations were collated before the mayhem. However, results could not be declared because the process could not be completed. And then the last point on the Nsawam Edrajiri, the Electoral Commission is saying that an attempt to complete the process was made on Thursday, December 12, 2024. After the results from 143 polling stations were collated, political parties agreed to pause the process until the following day. And then the process has since been stored. So that is the account of the Nsawam Edrajiri. So I want us to go one after the other. This is the case of the Nsawam Edrajiri. Did it come to your attention as the election observer?
Yes, we are very much aware about Nsawam.
Good. So don't you think the Electoral Commission should be justified for what it intends to do?
You see, the issue of Nsawam Edrajiri is different to Ablekuma North. Nsawam Edrajiri, was it declared?
Not at all.
Good.
Okay, so let's proceed to...
So, yes, there have not been declaration.
Good.
So there must be a declaration.
Okay. So let's go to Ahafo Ano Southwest and then Ahafo Ano North, all in the Ashanti region. So let me start with the Ahafo Ano Southwest. So the Electoral Commission is saying that party supporters invaded the collation center on election day, disrupting the collation exercise. And then also the EC officers were assaulted. Attempts to continue the process were met with resistance from party supporters. And then it goes on to say that the process has since stalled. On the 11th of December 2024, the storeroom of the commission was burnt. And then properties including ballot boxes, voting screens were all destroyed. So this is the account of the Ahafo Ano South seat. When you come to Ahafo, okay, so your bite on that, your take on that.
All the places that have not been declared or collation was incomplete, all those places, the recollation must be done in the presence of all key stakeholders.
Yes, exactly what the Electoral Commission is asking for.
Yes, but what we are against is where declaration has been done already, for a redeclaration. That's we vehemently oppose and we are against. You see, some of the reasons the Electoral Commission is citing, that there were kiosks, there were things were bent, and all those things. Damongo, I'm sure you know what happened in Damongo.
Yes.
Did the EC add that to its list?
The EC didn't add the Damongo. It didn't add the Akwitia. It didn't add the Fante Akwa North to it. It didn't add Damongo to it. Yeah. It didn't add that one to it.
I'm coming. We'll come to Sohum, Akwitia, and then Fante Akwa North. We'll come to that. But I'm dealing with Damongo.
It didn't add it.
Damongo, there was chaos. I'm sure you are aware.
Yes. The Electoral Commission office was also burnt down.
Thank you. So why is the Electoral Commission silent on that? Why is the Electoral Commission not calling for a re-collation and redeclaration? Double standards. Now, the reason why Electoral Commission is not also mentioning Suhum, Apetia, and then the other is that only Apenyo Markins and the NPP, together with the EC, did a re-collation and a redeclaration. I'm sure you are aware about that.
Yes.
At the Tesano Police Training School.
Yes.
Was there any NDC person there to observe what was happening? Why is the Electoral Commission quiet on that and wants to accept that? So this one tells you that the Electoral Commission has certain specific people, they want them to win the elections. And those individuals have not won the election, so it is not satisfied. It wants to.
It is alleged. In this case, you are alleging.
No, I'm telling you that this is what, because I asked you a question and you answered in affirmation. And I'm telling you that as a result of that, why is A correct but B is wrong? Why is it that way?
So maybe the places where they don't want to recollate and redeclare, maybe to them it lies within the rightful place, so they don't want to recollect it again. What about that?
The law is not that of the Electoral Commission. It's not for Jane Mensah. The law is not for Jane Mensah. The law is for the people of this country. And all of us must observe inconsistencies in what the Electoral Commission is doing. Is creating public mistrust and a lack of confidence in the Electoral Commission and even Jane Mensah herself. That is why I cited the call by people for her removal and the rest, their removal. Because you see, upon the appointment of Bosman Asare, people had said that Bosman is an NPP, is a partisan person who will only go to the commission to do the bidding of his political party.
Okay, Mr. Ado, let me ask, as an observer, has it come to your notice that Mr. or Dr. Bosman Asare has a party card of the NPP?
I am a product of the University of Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in school, I know Dr. Bosman Asare
as a party member of the NPP?
As a patron of TESCOM.
Okay.
Because, you see, they called us to their meetings. They wanted to add on to their numbers. NDC, TESCOM, and then TAME, NDC, NPP. You get that? They call us to their meetings. So we know what happens there. When he was a lecturer there, I was a student there.
Okay. And where were you two? Which of the groups were you also with? Were you also with the NDC?
I was not part of any of the groups on campus because I had attended the team's meeting because they invited me, and I attended TESCOM meeting because they invited me.
Okay.
But I told them point blank that I don't want to be a member of any political party.
Okay.
Because I want to vote based on manifesto promise and what you tell us that you can do, and then our experience with you, if any. Because immediately I join one political party, I am tied down, unable to do what I want to do for this country. You see, you are asking me this.
Yes.
So if I have been a member of any of them, then the thing is going to be that, then obviously I cannot be fair in terms of my judgments. That is the reason why I didn't join any of them. You get that?
Okay.
So for me, all these things that are ongoing, I have thought that even with all those allegations and accusations, all those things, the conduct of these particular elections were going to be very, very fair, free, because that's how it started. And we went through this until where we are. In fact, I have granted numerous interviews and I've commended the Electoral Commission for conducting one of the most credible elections.
Okay.
Because We didn't hear anyone saying here that the ballot box or somebody bring a ballot box here, miscounting and all those. We didn't hear those things.
Okay.
But to where we are, that we had thought that the Electoral Commission was going to be fair and firm and be consistent with what you have done in previous elections. We are much disappointed.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. David Kumi Ado. He is the Executive Director of CARE Ghana. The Executive Director of CARE Ghana. And then that has been the main discussion. We're actually looking at all the issues with the 9 seats under contention, the intention of the Electoral Commission to redeclare the results again, and then also the call on the president, the outgoing president, Nana Akufo-Addo, and then also the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, to ensure that there are security arrangements for the recollation. And then also the argument that the Electoral Commission is silent on the injunction placed on it by the NDC on its intention to recollate and then redeclare. This is developing, and then we are here to serve you and give you all the updates on this particular issue. Up next is Politics Today. You are still watching ABC in the morning, and my name is Ohimia Amponsa. You can get interactive with us on all our social media handles, ABC News GH _ ABC News GH _. And then also, we are streaming live on YouTube, www.abcnewsgh.com, www.abcnewsgh.com. Let's get interactive. And then also, you can also reach us on 0539 161609, 053-916-1609. Ghana Speaks would just be after the politics today. So don't go anywhere. Stick and stay with us. When it's time for Ghana Speaks, let's hear your voice, let's interact, let's talk, and let's discuss all the issues that are trending. Now to Ghana Speaks, and now to politics today. Parliament is about to close its session, the 8th Parliament. On the 6th of January, we will have the 9th Parliament on. The 8th Parliament came with its own, the ups, the downs, the news, the good side, the bad side, the drama, the scenes, and all you need to know about it. It's about to end by the fortnight or the midnight of 6th January 2025. There will be a search for a Speaker of Parliament. And then also there will be the selection of majority leader and then also a minority leader who becomes the next Speaker of Parliament. And then also who will be leading the NPP caucus in Parliament. As it stands now, the NPP, the results and then the outcome of the December 7 polls, they do not have the numbers. What are some of the underlying factors and strategies and measures that the party has to adapt to ensure that they are able to match the majority boot for boot? Boot for boot, not fighting, but facing them and then being constructive with deliberations on the ground and then keeping the executive, that's the arm of government, in check. Who are they considering? There are a lot of lobbying going on. So on politics today, we are delving into the intricate dynamics of parliamentary leadership in Ghana. With the recent development in Ghana's parliament, we explore the role of parliamentary and caucus leadership and how internal lobbying has shaped the current political discourse. Just few days to go, outgoing majority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin stirred some conversation in Parliament when he lobbied for the continuation of the current Speaker, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, in his position. He even went a step further to suggest that if there should be any changes, the next Speaker should still come from within existing ranks of Parliament. On the other hand, there's a growing debate surrounding the minority leader, Joseph Osei Owusu Wise, as we all know, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, recently also proposing that Afenyo-Markin should be considered for the role of the minority leader in the 9th Parliament, which raises questions on how parliamentary leadership is being reshaped for the future. So what goes into the selection of both the Speaker and then the leaders of the majority and then the minority? What does this recent maneuvering say about the political climate in Parliament as Ghana gears up for the next phase of governance? When you look at Article 57 of the Constitution, Article 95 of the Constitution, it says that there shall be a Speaker of Parliament who shall be elected by the members of Parliament from among persons who are members of Parliament or who are qualified to be elected as members of Parliament. 2. The Speaker shall vacate his office as he becomes a Minister of State or a deputy, resigns from office by writing a sign by him, or the Speaker, if there are any circumstances that should arise and he is unable to do so, then he will be disqualified. If he is removed from office by resolution of Parliament supported by the vote of not less than 3/4 of all the members of Parliament, then that is it. And then also, no business shall be transacted in Parliament other than election to the office of the Speaker at any time when the office of the Speaker is vacant. A person elected to the office of the Speaker shall, before entering before the duties of his office, take and subscribe before Parliament the oath of allegiance and the Speaker's oath set out in the second schedule to this Constitution. The Speaker shall receive such salaries and then allowances on retirement, such retiring awards as may be determined in accordance with Article 71 of the Constitution. So that is Article 95 of the Constitution, which mandates the selection and then the election of the Speaker of Parliament. As it stands now, Bagbin, Honorable Bagbin, he is the Speaker of Parliament, and the deputies are Joe Wise, that is Joseph Osewusu, and then also the independent member of Parliament for Mina, that is Andrew Amwaku Esiama, who they are the speaker, the deputy speakers to Honorable Kingsford Bagbin. But before Honorable Kingsford Bagbin, there were a number of speakers right from Peter Alajete time to memorial. So let us look at it. Under the Fourth Republic of Ghana, we had Right Honorable Justice Daniel Francis Annan from the 7th of January 1993 to 6th January 2001 as the Speaker of Parliament. And then we also had Right Honorable Peter Alajete. His tenure took effect from 7th